Many people, including this program, have been pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine, and now we have it. Announced yesterday and now in effect, the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas went into effect at 2 a.m. local time on Friday and came after nearly 2 weeks of air attacks between them. We're not gonna go over all of the history of what happened in those 2 weeks. I just wanna point out one fact because it's sort of being lost. Maybe accidentally, almost certainly purposefully, and that is that the violence was set off back on May 10th, in part by Israeli police raids on the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound and clashes with Palestinians during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Just keep that little factoid in the back of your mind as we proceed with this story about the ceasefire. So anyway, the fact that there's a ceasefire, a lot of people obviously are very happy about that because it means that at least in theory, far less civilians will be killed. Massively disproportionately Palestinians. So if you don't want to see dead civilians, it seems like a good thing. That said, some questions remain. Raised by people like Representative Ilhan Omar, who say we should all be grateful that a ceasefire will prevent more civilians and children from being killed. But now what? We need accountability for every war crime committed, and we need to stop underwriting crimes against humanity while doing nothing to end the occupation. Representative Cori Bush buttressed those points, saying a ceasefire ends the bombardment, not the violence. The Israeli military's occupation continues, the blockade continues, the ethnic cleansing continues. Our government must stop funding the apartheid status quo. And these are all great points. We obviously have late breaking developments in the ceasefire, but Viviana, what do you think about the ceasefire that's been reached?
Arguably, it didn't begin on May 10th.
Well, yes, I mean the most recent violence.
Right. Has it ever stopped?
Well, really fast. It's important to point that out because some people, including news anchors like Jake Tapper, say that the violence began with Hamas firing rockets. That's insane. Sure, we can go back. We can go back to the 70s, the 60s. We can go back 2,000 years ago, but we at least have to go back to May 10th.
Yeah, we have to have a whole semester in college to really go back. I watched Joe Biden speak on it briefly yesterday, and all I heard is we're going to continue giving Israel weapons, and we're going to continue punishing Hamas, which is funny to me because that's not who's getting killed. So I'm not sure what that speech was meant to do. And this ceasefire, I don't want to give any spoilers of The Handmaid's Tale, but it reminded me of something that happened on last week's episode.
I said that yesterday. I said that yesterday, that there's weird crossover. I'm like, you're totally right.
So we're gonna cease firing, but we've also killed. I mean, it's just been so ugly to read the news, how they report it. They talk about the Israeli children, which there's no life that's worth more than another. I'm not saying death. I mean, it's just equally horrific. But the way it's reported is there's Israeli children that had been killed. There's 2 of them. They list their ages, and then they go 20-some, Palestinian kids. We don't no ages, there's no human attached to it. It's just very divorced from that, and it's very sad. But what can we expect from a country that did that itself? I mean, this whole manifest destiny and Zionism, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, how much does the US really want to come to grips with the horror of drone striking or missile striking civilians and wiping out a wedding party and stuff like that? Like, we are criticizing Israel for doing that, but we also, I think to our credit, and it's necessary, have done that to the US because the US has done that all over the world since before we were born. So
and in this own and on this land that we're sitting on right now, I mean, there's been genocide, there's been occupation, there has been settlements, there's been imperialism globally, like you mentioned. So I'm really hoping more people don't get hurt, and I honestly, I don't think we're going to see the end of this anytime soon.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.